Derbyshire Cricket Heritage Project, County Ground Derby. It's David Fisher talking to
Wayne Madsen.
Wayne, one of our leading players over the last, 5-10 years. Before you got here, let's give you get a brief background in your cricket. So you grew up in South Africa. Just briefly, how was it like playing cricket there?
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a sporting family and grew up on the side of both cricket and hockey fields. So for me, I enjoyed playing on the side of the field, but then getting onto it when I was old enough to do so.
Yeah. So did you go like out with your dad or?
Yeah, with
family?
my dad.
They played and you went, oh yeah.
That's it, with my dad and my uncles. So being able to get out and well, I wouldn't say from a young age I probably didn't watch too much. I was more playing on the sides, but then sort of getting into it and watching the game and learning the game and all the way through school. I think one of the big things in South Africa is school sports. So having my winter sport as hockey and then my summer sport cricket, and I was able to play both of those all the way through my school career.
And then you sort of moved on to becoming a bit more important in the cricket style when you came to England. What was the thinking behind that?
Well, yeah, I mean, as I was saying about the hockey and the cricket, my hockey, I played international hockey for South Africa for 3 years, and I got to the end of my degree in terms of my studies as well. So I had to find either a job that would allow me to play hockey or try and play cricket professionally. And I chose obviously the latter. And one of the commitments was to come over and play 6 months of cricket here in the Central Lancashire League. So we did that. I did that for a year, and then cricket started to take off a little bit. Came and played a second year at Unsworth in the Central Lancashire League, and during that time managed to get in touch with both John Morris and Carl Cricken. And yeah, then came down, had a net out here at the 3A County Ground, and the rest is history, I suppose.
Oh, so you found a real rapport straight away with the coach and the assistant coach.
Yeah, I mean, I came down and I played quite well in the nets against 3 of the first team bowlers, and John spoke to me afterwards and said, I'd like to have a look at you. This was at the end of 2008 season, and he said, we'd like to have a look at you. We'd like you to play some second team games from the start of next season. So if you can make yourself available for that, that would be great. And then that's what happened. At the start of 2009, I was able to start trialling.
Yeah, great. Contrast between South Africa and the Midlands and the northwest of England. How did that strike you?
Yeah, well, huge contrast in weather conditions. No, I mean that for me has never really been an issue. Just sort of acclimatizing and getting used to where we're living. It's a beautiful part of the world as well, living here in Derbyshire, and we thoroughly enjoy it, being able to sort of get out into the Peak District and walk and make use of everything that the place has to offer. I think, yeah, it is a contrast in terms of the two worlds that we lived in, that we've lived in. But yeah, I wouldn't change it for a thing. I'm really very, very happy where we are.
Okay, so apart from playing for the county, you're enjoying having a look around the area as well, making the best use of your time here, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's important that not only do you get to know the people of Derbyshire, but you get involved in the culture and what the county stands for, and you certainly become better people for it, and it also helps you to settle in as well when you start making new friends, and especially when you're a long way from home. The first thing to do is to try and sort of get yourself into the community, and that's what we've tried to do as much as possible.
Yeah, so that's the local golf club, the local pub.
Well, I'd like to play a bit more golf than I probably do, but certainly, and our side was getting into the local hockey club.
Yeah.
Carla's got a business that she runs, my wife's business, coaching young kids sports. So it's getting into the community in different ways, and not just through the cricket club, but we've been fortunate that we made a lot of great friends, and they feel like family for us over here.
Right. Well, back to the cricket anyway. you say into the second 11. Did you play much second 11 before you had to got the chance to play for the first?
Well, I pretty much tried for the first half of the season with in the second 11, and so biding my time. I was obviously still playing club cricket up in Manchester, but managed to get some runs under the belt, and my probably most important knock was up at Darlington against Durham. We just got back from South Africa. Had to go back for a week. Came back out, and I had a club game on the Sunday. Caught the train up to Darlington. Actually fell asleep on the train, missed the train, ended up in Durham. Managed to get back to the hotel at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and probably had sort of 3-4 hours sleep. And then it was a one-day game that day, and John, obviously there was no first team game that day, and John had come all the way up to watch, and I was able to get 100 in front of him watching, and it was probably the point that sort of sealed my spot into the team when a spot came available.
That was 3 hours sleep, but how much adrenaline do you reckon?
A lot of adrenaline,
yeah.
Certainly a lot of adrenaline. I mean, yeah, I think that adrenaline plays a big part. But yeah, it definitely, with having John there, gave me an opportunity to really sort of show what I can do, and that's what I was able to do. And and then a couple of weeks later, I managed to get my debut.
Oh yeah, because you seem to be not all that long in the seconds before you got your debut, and it was quite a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's Cheltenham will always live with me. That first game, mind you, the first innings I didn't get too many. It was Kyla had come down to watch, and she had to go back after day one, and we batted first, and I got 7 in the first innings. Obviously a bit disappointed, but managed to get 170 not out in the second innings, and really that sort of got me going in county cricket.
I think that probably cemented your place, really, didn't it? You've not really had to go back and do any of those hard yards anymore, because you've always been able to provide us with quite a lot of runs.
Well, it certainly gave me a kickstart. Being able to start well, it helped. It gave me a lot of confidence that I do belong in the first class game, and the mental side of the game is so big. So to start off well was obviously pretty influential, and then I managed to continue that for the rest of the season. I got another couple of hundreds against Surrey and Middlesex.
Yeah, so at that first championship 100, how much of it was sort of really concentrating hard and adjusting to the conditions? How did you go about it?
I'd seen Greg Smith get a big 100 in the first innings, and I think the conditions were, the wicket was probably similar-ish to wickets I'd been playing on in club cricket. It didn't have a lot of pace to it, and the outfield was lightning, so I knew there's value for shots, and I just wanted to be positive and go and play my game, and that was the way I did it. I rode my luck a couple of times. I think I got dropped in about 63 and 97, but that's what happens, and you've got to take your chances, and I was able to do that.
Yeah. Were you opening on that particular occasion?
I was.
Yeah, because your early career seemed to be as an opener. You now settled into number 4.
Yeah.
Why do you prefer number 4?
I moved down the order when I took the captaincy, just as to sort of give myself a little bit more time when we came off the field, or at the start of the game, just to sort of settle into things. And that was probably the biggest reason for it, because having a captaincy when you're on the field for that period of time, it's mentally fatiguing and draining. So the reason behind sliding down a little bit was actually to just give myself a little bit of rest before I then had to go bat. But you never know, you might be in first, second, third ball anyway, batting at 3 or 4. But generally it just gives you a little bit more time to sort of recover from a time in the field, and that was the thinking behind it at the time.
Okay, so you've a little bit about building an innings. You talked about adjusting to the pitch, adjusting to the conditions. So patience, technique, scoreboard pressure, keeping the scoreboard ticking over. How do these things all balance together? Yeah,
I think it's certainly something that you develop through your career, that understanding of what of your game and sort of what makes your game plan. And for me, actually playing in different conditions, playing in South Africa, probably slightly quicker wickets in South Africa, coming across here and having to adapt and develop in the Central Lancashire leagues when it was nibbling around on little green tops, and then applying myself. So learning how to apply yourself in different conditions is certainly been an advantage to me, and I'd say that's helped my batting in a big way.
Yeah, you had to have that one adjustment to different pitches. Do the pitches vary much around the county circuit?
I think they do. There's definitely differences in pace, in turning wickets, seaming wickets. There's definitely variation. I mean, our wicket here has sort of gone through changes since I've been around. Well, firstly in terms of the direction of the wickets. When our first season, it was in the opposite. Well, it was in a different direction to what it is now, and I think it goes through, as I say, it goes through stages. I think in 2012-13 we probably played on greener wickets with a bit more grass on, and then this last season we took all the grass off to try and get it to spin. So there's different conditions all the way, all around the county, and I suppose it depends on the coach, captain of the team you're playing as to what type of wickets that can be produced nowadays as well.
Oh, okay. Captaincy. You had a go at it and you gave it up. Did you like it whilst you were captain?
Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I enjoyed leading the team. I did it for 4 seasons and thoroughly enjoyed my time at the helm. It couldn't have got off to a better start really. We had a young team when I took over, and we started by winning the championship, and that really gave me a boost, gave everybody a boost at the club to start this the way that we did in the season as well. That's pretty much what got us over the line at the end is the way that we were able to get those wins early doors, and we played with no fear, and that was what I wanted to try and get across to the guys is just go and express yourselves and enjoy it, and that's pretty much what we did as a team. And at the same time, I know as a captain you want to lead by example, so that was a big role, responsibility for me is trying to make sure that I set the tone for what as a team we wanted to achieve. Yeah,
I didn't notice your scores suffering particularly as a captain, but you still gave it up in the end.
I think I got to a stage where I also felt that the team needed a change in dynamics a little bit, but I also wanted to focus on purely on my batting. Yes, I'm still a senior player and able to support the team, but I felt that it needed a change in dynamics in terms of the captaincy, and also I wanted to have a bit more focus around my batting, and it did certainly give me that release last year. I think it was my most successful season in terms of championship cricket, and it's no coincidence that it did help me sort of relax and just settle into it a bit more.
Right. So things like leaving the strategy, the tactics to somebody else relaxes you.
It does. It's less. It's definitely less pressure.
Yeah. Does it distract you from your batting sometimes?
It can do. I try to. Well, your responsibility is to try and put that aside. When you walk out to the middle and you're batting, you've got to put any thoughts of captaincy aside, other than obviously the game tactics and how you're playing. But in terms of the concentration aspect, and you've got to try and switch off and switch on to what you're dealing with at the time. So I think I learned to develop that quite well. But taking the rest of the time away in terms of the mental drain that you can go through as a captain. It's not just the stuff that's on the field, but off the field as well. There's a lot of extra responsibilities that you have to take, and a lot of challenges that you have to deal with, and certainly having less challenges off the field and on the field has got me into a better space in terms of where I am with my performances. I also had the commitments of doing the level 4 coaching course at the time, and so to combine everything was going to be pretty full on, and I think it was just the right time to hand over the reins.
Okay, so you're a level 4 coach now.
I am. I actually qualified. I'm not. I haven't got my results back, but I did my last presentation and Viva last week. So with a bit of luck, I'll have that qualification as well.
So is that, obviously you seem to be planning for the future, and you're looking forward to going into coaching?
Yeah, I think that's certainly the what I'm looking at the moment. I'd love to stay in the game and go into coaching. I'm not sure what level or anything yet. I still like to play for quite a few more years before I have to make that call. But it's important as cricketers to make sure that we've got options for when we finish playing the game. That for me is one of my focus areas, and for my personal development, make sure I get my coaching badges, which I've done.
Yeah, as a senior player and a qualified coach, you can probably help some of the younger characters along in the team.
Yeah, that's definitely it's part of my mantle really, and it's what I enjoy doing, helping the other guys, the younger guys coming through. Certainly doing the extra work in the winter. I enjoy passing and sharing the knowledge that I have, but at the same time I'm learning off them. The guys come in with different ideas, so not only am I able to share my knowledge, but they're enlightening me and helping me, both as a coach and as a player as well, with different thought processes and ideas.
So are you dealing with the academy kids a lot much?
I have been. Over the last couple of years, I have helped with the academy kids. This last year, I've probably had more focus on our younger players in the first team, and looking at batting and fielding in particular, around helping some of our guys, both technically, tactically, just trying to develop them and make them better cricketers.
Yeah. So who's coming up that you think's done really well over the past couple of years, from being a 16, 18-year-old kid, looking at?
Sure, that's good question. I think if I look at youngsters who've come through and or are coming through, probably an exciting one is Callum Broderick in terms of batting. He's obviously he's burst onto the scene last year in terms of 2020 cricket, and I see Callum sort of developing over the next couple of years into a fine batsman. So he's one to look out for from a batting perspective.
Yeah, I watched the second match at Stourbridge, and he had a very entertaining 70 odd in that. Yeah, really looked good prospect.
Yeah, he is, and it's so I think over the next couple of years, Carl will be one to look out for. I think there's obviously other guys that come through in my time while I've been here, the likes of Slats, Yazza. Those guys have really developed and are sort of starting to kick on now. From that I'm talking from a batting perspective.
Okay, well, that's a really good place to finish, I think. Kids to look forward to. Thanks very much, Wayne, and we'll hear a bit from you later.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dave.
Cheers.